We'll get signed into the chat. You know how we do. Hope everybody's evening was good. We've got some news to go over. Netflix earnings going to move the market. There's a couple other key events happening, as well as futures. Now, I know that we've been talking about futures, and I've always said, hey, if the bottom row is up, then the top row should be down. So we have an opportunity to look at that today, as well as, yeah, it's going to be range day or chop. I just don't see anything really that's standing out to me as far as like, oh, it's going to rally to face rip mode or whatnot. All right, hold on one second here. Just checking out a couple of things real quick. All right, so stream is working, chat is working. All right, good morning. I am Algo. Thanks for joining me on another watch list building session. Today is Wednesday, October 20th, 2021, and the market's gonna go crazy. No, it's not. It's gonna chop all day. So be quick, be nimble. Yep, and life is all about nursery rhymes. Everything you can do in life relates to a nursery rhyme from when you were a kid. There's a couple stocks that I'm definitely interested in, that I didn't get an opportunity to play yesterday, but I'm gonna look to get in them today. So with that being said, morning, morning, morning. Yeah, who's got 5 on it? It's not the first of the month though. All right, let me just check in on a couple other things here real quick. I need to get going. And tweet deck. We got Twitter going. We got the chat going. Excuse me. Y'all didn't need to hear that. Let me get a drink of the old Banksterberry. The names of these things, man, I swear. Banksterberry. Bitcoin. The Bitcoin ETF launched yesterday. It came in at 40, which is interesting because if Bitcoin was at 64 and they priced that ETF at 40, what happens when Bitcoin drops back down to 30? It's going to get ugly real quick. Options are available on that today as well. Let's get into some news. There is some news regarding that I'm interested in sharing with y'all today. Let's get back down here where we need to be. Let's go. Facebook, boom, set to announce a rebranding that could see the creation of a newly named parent company in the spirit of Alphabet and Google that sits atop its network of social media and communication apps. Facebook should have some interest today. Okay. Samsung and Intel are both seeking to win orders for Apple's in-house development Mac processors, but industry sources believe that TSM will get that. So, right, Intel and Samsung are both like, yo, because Mac's moving away from, like, they're moving through their own chip, right? But they still need they still need to have suppliers. So keep an eye on those 4 stocks today. And Netflix, boom, dude, massive cow, man, dude. Hopefully this thing just I think I want to see it hit 700 this week. Let's go, Netflix, right? Q3 estimates at 3.19 versus 2.56. Woohoo, right? They guide positive annual basis in 22 and beyond, so they raise guidance, right? They provided guidance, right? Which companies don't usually do unless they've got a pretty good outlook for what's going to happen in the years in the next year or the next quarter, right? And they also said it believes it no longer needs to raise external financing to fund day-to-day ops, which means that they have recovered from the vid. Okay. Invax drops 20%. Invax down 20%. Okay. On reports, the company's facing production delays as the methods it used to test period of COVID vaccine have fallen short of regulation standards. Okay. Yeah, they're taking a dump. Be aware of that. Stronghold Digital Mining. This is the new kid on the block, right? Welcome him with open arms. Coming in at an IPO price of 19. This will go. This goes in. It's gonna be hanging out with Mara and Riot in that space there. So SDIG is the ticker. We're gonna look at that. I need to write that down so I don't forget about it. I actually bought into the Bitcoin ETF yesterday. I got 1 share. I got my kids 1 share actually. SDIG. I figured why not, you know. The Bitcoin ETF is BITO. There for a minute, people People thought that it was going to be BTFD by the dip, right? No, unfortunately not. Okay. In other financial news, Interactive Brokers, which is what I was interested in, they beat by 3 cents, uh, 78 versus the estimated 75, and 0.13 million over their estimate. So they were real tight with their estimates, right? They didn't mention anything about guidance either. So I was kind of interested in see what happened with Interactive Brokers. I'm fairly new to that broker. They have custodial accounts, so rather than get my kids allowance every week, right? I've got them a custodial account where I can just deposit money into and invest that into, stocks like the new Bitcoin ETF, right? I mean, one thing that American children never learn is finance, so you might as well, I don't teach them a skill. All right, that's a whole nother topic, right? All right, API, American Petroleum Institute, shows a build of 3.29 million barrels of oil for the week of running this week. Inventories show a draw of 3.5, and distillates show a draw of 3. Right. So, I mean, I need to keep an eye on that. I should probably start a spreadsheet with that to see if that's more or less from last week. I think it's probably going to be more, especially since we're starting to get into the winter months. People are going to start burning through a lot more fossil fuel just to stay warm, right? Supply demand. Let's see. United Airlines adjusted $1.02 versus 167, so they missed on their earnings. So UAL may be rallying off of that. So let's keep an eye on UAL for what happens at the open, even though they missed on earnings. It's interesting to see the companies that you think that beat on earnings, unless they gap and run, like I think Netflix may do. It should be interesting that they may actually rally into this. Okay, Uber files for prospective supplemental offering of 16.5 million shares of common stock. So Uber should pull back today off of that. Traders don't like common offerings, right? You don't want to put more supply into the market, which means that your demand is less. Right? Yeah, it's so inverse. It's crazy. This is important. Vinco Ventures, BBIG. Everybody's talking about how they're going to be massive. Yeah, they're dropping after the company reported the resignations of their CEO and CFO. If you're going to play meme stocks, they're not long-term investments. Do not hold those suckers. If you do, we're going to have a conversation. You may get banned. Okay? Seriously. If you're going to invest in something that's going to be here in 5 years, not some flash in the pan. More banks for Barry. Yep. All right. Moving on forward. Upgraded outperform from neutral. Credit Suisse upgraded their target to 20 from 15, saying it had seen significant turnaround as Ford. Company ended its cycle of quarterly earnings disappointments, and its transition to electric vehicles has sharply accelerated. Ford's finally getting they're finally like, oh hey, EV's the way to go. This is kind of important. College enrollment plunged in 2020 at the lowest level since 2007. Well, of course. I mean, why wouldn't it? People don't want to go to school for 4 years and get out and be immediately $200,000 in debt. Doesn't make sense, especially when they could take specialized courses online and become very targeted in the field that they're looking for. So, personal opinion on that. Key events today. Samsung and it has Samsung is falling in line with Google and Apple, and they're announcing a 2-day event beginning today, right after Apple and Google, yesterday. Eden Dispensary Bus Tour. No clue what that is. We're gonna move it. Tons of earnings today. Too many for me to go over. Any that I'm interested in. All right, so before the bell, ABT, BIIB. Those are of interest to me, and that's about it. Those VZ, Verizon. So ABT, ANTM, BIIB, and Verizon are the only ones that have really interesting earnings before the bell. After the close, though, CCI. Is that Lucid? No. Sorry. My bad. Yeah. IBM's got earnings today. LRCX has earnings today. LVS has earnings today. Those are important. These are all ones that we usually play, so write those down someplace. Tesla has earnings today. That's probably going to be the biggest one. That's why I think the market's chopping so much right now, because Tesla does have earnings, so there should be some interest in that. Does Tesla break 1,000? Does Tesla come out and provide guidance? Ooh, who knows? And yeah, we're going to look at Tesla, LRCX, and yeah, I think that's about it. Mortgage application data is 7, and DOA inventory. Yesterday, the Dow gained 37, or excuse me, S&P gained 37, the Dow 198. Finally, they did something. NASDAQ jumped 107, and the Russell was up by 8 points. Let the Russell go. In the Asian markets, you know this one, right? Yeah. My favorite index rose 40 points to 29.25 or 255. The Shanghai slipped. Shanghai slipping 2 points. Hang Seng index jumped 348 points to 26,000. In Europe, the German DAX. Nah, I didn't want to do that. That was stupid. Anyway, the German DAX is up about 20 points, and FTSE is a little changed. So, European markets kind of flat. Asian markets ups and downs, right? Ins and outs. So keep an eye on those. Our market, we're just super choppy right now. I'm going to pull up the futures in a minute, and you're going to be like, what is this, right? Especially when bonds did a Wu-Tang pattern reversal. The yen's trying to do one. Crude's and gold's up, right? Anyway, we'll get into that in a second. S&P posted its 5th straight day of gains. Like, gain. What happens? You got to pull back sometime. Got to pull back. Got to. You just got to do it. Okay. And mostly flat. Where's the Netflix news? Sorry about that. All time is. So, with solid corporate earnings offsetting persistent inflation concerns and a jump in Treasury bond yields, the yield on the benchmark 10-year is at morning lows around 1.63, but falling from overnight highs at 1.67. Yeah, bonds are moving. They're making a move today. So that would be TLT. Excuse me. And TLT is a snitch. So just expect market pullback if TLT is running. Netflix has little changed after the quarterly beat, while UAL rises off a narrowing loss. See what I was saying? It's kind of weird. It's that inverse. That's the inverse stuff, man. You're like, oh shit, they lost it. They beat, or excuse me, they failed on earnings. Why are they rallying? Well, because that's built into it. It's built into it, right? Don't get sucked into some stuff here. This is United Airlines, right? Massive rally up in the last couple of days to a sell-off. Support at the daily Keltner channel bottom. Look for a rally in this today. I know they failed on earnings. Look for a rally because people think they're getting a good deal. Anyway. All right, so this is the ES. Let me just get into some futures here real quick. And then we gotta get moving. Gotta get moving and grooving, shaking and baking. Let's go. This one. All right, DOS futures top row. If you're just new and joining the stream, the top row is the excuse me, is the ES, YM, NQ, and the Russell. Right. Bottom row is gold, crude, bonds, and the yen. Right. We like the bottom row down. Right. Heads down. We like the top row up. I'm not even going to go into that. That's for another stream. So look at this. Nice rallying off of the ES. Pullback. Could be a little bit of a bull flag forming here. Actually, it is a gnarly little bull flag forming on the ES. The YM is kind of it looks like an upward channel a little bit. And, you know, the NQ is just doing what the NQ does. Little cup and handle overnight with support at, yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be range bound because we're at highs. it would be nice if we could get a nice pullback for a continued rally. Look at the poor little Russell. I'm talking too much. Look at the poor little Russell. Like, what kind of pattern is that? Like, that looks like, what was that stock somebody showed me the other day? Disney. Yes, so this looks like Disney. Like, how do you trade that? You don't. It's just chop fest, right? From mid to support to high, back down to mid to high, and then just fading off of that. Poor little Russell. Russell needs to shake things up a little bit. Maybe swap out some stocks that are in there. Maybe get rid of AMC. Whatever. So gold is rallying at 1790. Like I said, if this bottom row was rallying, usually the top row will fade. So gold's just rallying right now. I'd look for it to make some highs and then sharply pull back. I don't know what happened here with crude, but it rallied, sold off. Like, it's not a gap fill, it's just a massive sell off to an additional rally. If this isn't a head and shoulders, I don't know what to tell you. You're not going to see a better one out there, right? Short below the neckline. This is a good example of a head and shoulders, right? Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. There's the neckline right here where this pivot point is. And as soon as the stock price action came below that pivot point, it fell, rallied, back tested, made sure it couldn't get back up over that resistance, and it's just continued to fall off. Okay. We need to see that kind of deal with gold. Bonds are making higher highs and higher lows. So this is TLT. TL sneaking up and being a little snitch. It's saying, hey, I want to go higher, which means the ES should go lower. It doesn't always have to be inverse, but it's very rare for them to run in the same direction. Okay. And the Japanese yen is doing the same kind of move, higher highs and higher lows. Yeah, this just isn't like, I think we're going to be range bound because we're at highs. Excuse me. And we've got our key futures, key bottom row futures making a move. So TLT, there may be a play at TLT to 160, right? 159, 160. Just keep an eye on that, okay? 1 second here. All right. I'm like forever trying to get an invite to this one guy's stream. It'll happen one day. All right, let's check out some stocks options. If you've got requests now, it's the time to get them in. Baba, Netflix, Ulta, Coin Baba, Coin NBA, Clove, Apple, LOL, no, Bill, LMT, Crowdstrike. Those are pretty decent. When. And then what's up, lads? Jack. Set of clothes. All right. So, Johnny, you want me to do DHC instead of Clove? Hit me with a thumbs up. You guys, come on, guys, like the video. I shouldn't have to tell you. All right, so we'll check out Baba, Netflix, Ulta, Coin for sure. We'll start with Coin. So Coin, Baba, Ulta. Lockheed. You know what? Let's do Crowd instead of Lockheed Martin. We'll get it. If I have time, I'll do the rest of those, okay? Coin, like, I don't know. It's the same thing as yesterday. We were here, bull flag breakout, price actions trading with the algorithm. As long as that algo is vertical like that, I totally, like, I'm not even going to try to. It's tough to play Coin because let's say we played it yesterday on the gap up, it immediately fell back down, filled the gap, rallied, couldn't get above the high, pulled back to support. Or look at this $300 regular block trade support, and it's trying to make a move up. I'm not going to consider this a Wu-Tang reversal, so don't get the W confused. Maybe a triple top pullback, okay? We have to be aware the algo is, the algo can continue to buy while price action pulls back. That would create bullish divergence. So just be nimble, Jack, be nimble, Jack, be quick. Don't burn your funds up jumping over the candlestick. Whatever. All right, let's mark this up here. So we have regular block trade support at 300 on the dot. We've tested it once. If we test it again, look for the head and shoulders pattern. This was a nice little bull flag breakout going into yesterday. I'm going to consider this white line support. Let me just explain my charts for the new people. This is the smart money dark pool and block trade algorithm software provided by FlowTrade. The white bars are price action. Purple is the regular algorithm. If you see me draw a red line across my screen, that's a regular block trade. If you see me draw a blue line across my screen, that is a dark pool block trade. If I drop a white line, then it's party time, as Laz would say. No, what it means is that there is a dark pool and a regular block trade that printed so close that I can't separate them out. I'm going to use Coinbase to teach you, drop a little bit of knowledge on y'all real quick, okay? So we have a dark pool level here, right? We have a regular block trade level there. We have a white line level smack dab in the middle. Look at that, right? Or close enough. 245.35 is your dark pool level. 275.75-ish is your smart money dark pool and regular block trade level, right? And then 300 is your regular block trade level. So about a $30 gap. Can you see what I'm doing here? Let's check this out. I have billions of dollars. These dark pool orders are usually sell orders, right? I'm selling a bunch more shares back into, let's hypothesize this. This is all speculation. None of this is advice. Don't follow what I'm doing. I'm not a financial advisor. This is all for entertainment purposes only. Listen, so here's a dark pool level, and there's a bunch of orders. You think they're buy or sell orders? So if I sold a bunch of shares right here, if I had, millions and billions of dollars of shares right here and I sold it, it would introduce a lot more supply into the market. So there's more shares for people to buy. As buying pressure increases, the price of the price of the stock or the equity will increase, right? At this level, there's profit taking and more additional sell orders coming in, right? More supply, more demand, increase in stock price. At 300, people are taking profit from this area here where they bought in as smart money was selling out. I mean, that's speculation, but this is it makes sense to me. I always try to pretend like I have billions of dollars and I gotta offload some stock. If I dump it all here, right, on the open market, it's gonna pseudo inflate the price, right? And as soon as people realize that this isn't a valid, right, that it's not a true rally, they're going to start selling off and it's going to actually hurt me, right? If I wanted to buy if I'm buying here, right, it's going to artificially inflate the price when I should have been, selling here. Of course, the market is dyslexic, or I am. Maybe it's backwards. Who knows? But I know that that's a pretty significant chart to be paying attention to. Okay. Ba. So did the algo make its higher high? Oh, look at that. It did. I would anticipate BABA to continue moving upwards after the algo pulls back. So what happened the last time? We were here. We rallied up. The algo made a new high. It immediately started pulling back as price action did until it found support, white line support. I'll draw that up for a minute. The algo came down, found support, and it's continued up. So this is a cyclical cycle of what's going on with the algorithm. Does it pull back again and we get pull back to support, or does it continue to rally up and pull price action up with it? Okay. We have regular and dark pool support at 170. I'm going to go ahead and white line that because I feel like that's pretty dang close. I can't get too specific on this stuff just because it's hard for me to show 4 charts and do it. So 169, 170, 169.90, 170, right? So that's white line support resistance. There's your line in the sand. Below that, we got 166.85-ish. And below that, we've got this level here. In between, we've got some regular block trades that are going to provide a little bit of support and resistance at key levels, 170.88, 168.70, 164.50. And then we've got a bunch of dark pool clusters in between, right? There's got a little dark pool sandwich going on here. I can't make this stuff up. Anyway, so what I'd like about BABA is that it's at an inflection point. The algo, oh, come on, get it right, the tool out here. The algorithm made a higher high, barely, right? And made a higher low, barely. So I really need to see what happens with the algorithm at this key level. Does it curl around and continue back up and break up and rally further? Or does it do what it's done in the past when it's hit this level and pull back, which causes price action to pull back, right? Rallied up, pull back on the algorithm causes price action to pull back. So it's at a rally. Does it pull back and continue up, or does it continue to rally on? So there's a gap that needs to be filled also on Das Baba. So keep this on your radar. This gap. Okay. That's Baba. Moving on. Ulta. This is a gorgeous chart. The algo is trading with price action 1-to-1, right? It's not like 1-to-1, but it's trading with price action. Generally overall bullish. Nice healthy pullback. Should have got into this yesterday on that dip. Taking out, making new highs. The algo's got a couple areas that it's going to currently interact with. If the algorithm can get above this regular block trade zone and make a higher high, I'm going to be a little bit more bullish on Ulta. So back in history, if we look at what happened here, rallied up to regular block trade resistance. The algo pulled back, brought price action with it, consolidated up, can get through it again, pulled back, and finally got through it the third time. So is this the same pattern? Possibly. This algo really needs to get above this, that down channel support, right? This trend downward support resistance, right? Hopefully it rallies up. Could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move. Just keep an eye on it. We have dark pool support at 52.18 on Ulta. 52.18. There. We have regular block trade support and resistance, right? A whole bunch of orders coming in at 51.60. Below that, 48.36. I believe those are going to be really the only two levels we need to really concern ourselves with. There's a minor little gap that may have to be filled. Really? See how it gapped up, pulled back, and filled this gap here, right? Gapped up. There's a minor gap here that eventually may have to come down and get filled. So we're just going to keep an eye on those levels there. Moving on, Crowdstrike. So Crowdstrike's not doing what I thought it was going to do. It's lots of consolidation happening here. So algorithms trading with price action. That little pullback, we had a nice divergence. This is just trading 1-to-1. So if we look at what happened here, we had a gap up and rally. We pulled back, gapped up. Now we're consolidating. We're getting into some of that resistance levels. The algo is pointed down, so it's this downturn like this, right? Or is it just going to maintain its upward trajectory? Okay, so Crowdstrike is a leader in cloud technology. I love that company, and I'm super bullish on the stock for the long term. I personally wish it would drop back down to the 200 so I can get some long-term shares, but can't always get what you want, can you? So this is a parabolic pattern. When price gaps up, consolidates, gaps up, consolidates, gaps up, and consolidates. Usually the next move after this 1, 2, third plateau is just a parabolic curve. Let me show you what this looks like. Let me see if I can mark this up for you. So a typical parabolic move looks like kind of what it's doing, right? You get a move up to a plateau, right? Move up to a plateau, right? And then I think it's on the third one. Either on the third one, you'll get a parabolic curve like that, right? See, I can't show you on the screen, but imagine that curve. So imagine this curve here, coming in right here. So we're going to have to definitely keep an eye on CrowdStrike. For that, if it fails, we've got two solid levels here of support and resistance. I'm not seeing any block trade or dark pool trades. So this is all probably mainly investor sentiment. 283.23. Smart money is probably waiting for decision with this consolidation here. And 270.06. $13 gap. Kind of interesting. What I want to see happen is, let me change this coloring to here. So mind the gaps that have to be filled at some point. This consolidation, I just hope it's not range bound, right? A $5 range for the next little while. Look at what the algo is doing here. So if that pulls back and comes back down into this level, then it could get kind of ugly. That would be a massive plateau. But let's just keep an eye on CrowdStrike. Okay. Moving on. What else do we got here? Morning. Baba's at a decision-making point. That's really the truth of it. Like, Baba had to, what happened here? Seriously. Baba had days, almost a week full of consolidation before it made that little, $5 move. Keep an eye on it. Watch the algo. If it gets up, then we can readdress the issue. All right, checking out DAC, Lockheed Martin, BILL. What else do we got? BA. Okay, I'll do BA for you if you want. I personally don't like BA. Peloton. Sorry, Andrew. I just saw that. So I got DAC, LMT, BIL, BA. And then you want me to get Peloton? I'll do. Don't let me forget to do Peloton. So DAC, DAC, Algo's trading with price action. It's pulling it up, but every time it gaps, it pulls back. Right? Rally, gap up. I don't know if we pull back to this level. Algo's made higher highs. Right? This could be a reversal pattern. Let me show you what that looks like visually. I've never traded DAC, so I don't know how it moves, but the algorithm has got some overhead resistance it broke through. Does it curl back around here and continue on to the upside? Right? Do one of those. If that happens, you can anticipate price action that's moving in a nice uptrend, kind of like at the same little level here. You see how they're very similar? If this could be a massive gap down. So are we coming in to fill? Are we trying to gap fill? Is that what you're saying? Let's check it. All right, so I'm not gonna be able to draw the square for the gap because this chart's jacked up right here. So high, low, higher, low, broke down, sold off. Now it's trying to rally itself back up, making higher highs and higher lows. So anticipate another higher high and potentially the algo hitting that level there. Okay. If that happens, I think it'll pull this price action above its overhead resistance and may continue on. Contrarian, this breaks down and comes back here and back tests this level. If the algo gets below that, you can anticipate price action coming down to fill this gap here and even potentially this gap there. Okay. That was DAC. You want me to do Peloton? All right, there we go. I got Peloton up so I don't forget about it. Lockheed Martin. This is just, the trend is your friend until the end. Algo's trading with price action's been net buying ever since 29th. Just steady net buying. This was a pretty significant move yesterday. When it makes big moves like that, it has a tendency to pull back to support. and before it makes its next move to the upside. Big move, pull back. Big move, pull back, right? Big move, pull back. Big move, pull back. So if you move with the ebbs and the flows of this price action, the algo is trading with price action in an uptrend. We have regular block trade support and resistance coming in. 371.07 is your pretty much your line in the sand. If it can rally a bit, here, let me show you what that looks like down here at this 365 level. We have a 365 regular block trade. So we get above it and we back test it for support. We try to get up over it. We fail that support. We have to come back and depend on our trend line support here. Oh, come on. I don't know what's up with my charts lately, but it's like they're a little bit out of sync. I'll have to figure that out. All right, we've got trend line support here. I mean, that's a pretty dead on channel. So maybe a pullback and then a rally onto the upside. So I'm looking for dips in LMT. If it breaks below 375 or 365, I would probably reevaluate my long-term position on it. All right, BILL, was that the request for it? BILL. Rally, consolidation, rally, falling channel, pullback. All right, BILL, we've got bearish divergence happening. Pretty significant. It looks like smart money's decided to leave this position. So the algo is in a nice little downward, right? Falling wedge. Rather than breaking out, it broke down. Anticipate price action to just keep an eye on those levels. If it can take out this high right here, right? If it can get above that 302-ish, 302, 303-ish level, you can play the momentum to the upside. However, smart money has been selling off into it, right? So as far as key levels, since there's no regular block trades or dark pool trades to help us out, help guide us, just know that there's a gap here that hasn't been filled yet. This gap right here just got through being filled, right? So this looks very heavy to me. On the other end of the token, this is kind of an extended bull flag. So with this being selling off and with this failing to break out, I would look at one more attempt at breaking out of this pennant, and if not, then I think we actually come down. All right, that was BILL. Boeing, lovely Boeing. I personally don't trade Boeing anymore, but I can show you what the algo has to say about it and what price action's doing. All right, so interestingly enough, Boeing's got lots of dark pool support and resistance, right? All right, so let's see what the algo is doing. The algo has made a higher low, a higher high, right? So the algo was moving up, right? Something happened, and you know, interest fell off back down to support. Now we're trying to make a move to the upside. So let me draw this out for you. All right, the algorithm. My line's off a little bit there. All right, pretty much rising wedge, failure, back down to support. Now it's trying to get above this level here. It struggled to get out of that. If it can rally up above that, I think it'll have enough juice to pull price action up and through these dark pool levels, right? However, if it fails, I think that this is like a rounded here. I can't do a rounded. Wish I could. Right, got a little bit of a So if the algo can rally through its overhead resistance and go up and test this dark pool level at 225.40, right? Then I believe that'll pull price action up through this massive overhead resistance of dark pool trades at 217, 217.54, right? That's a lot. So those came out on the 15th and the 18th respectively. So there's your 15th trade. Here's your 18th level, right? So that rallied up and resisted off of it, broke through it, pulled back, kind of a little bit of consolidation. We only have one regular block trade at 218 right on the nose, and that came in on the 15th, right? So that came in on this date here. Right. So yeah, and that's what needs to happen with Boeing. Like the algo has to make a decision, and price action's got to make a decision. Just know that the path of least resistance for BA is to the downside. Okay. All right, Peloton. Let's see. Chop, 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 chop. So this is a massive algorithm wedge. We have white line support resistance as far as price action is concerned at that 88.20 level. Pretty significant area. Looks like that's where we closed, right? Pretty significant level there. We have regular block trade support coming in at 86.65. The algorithm is, oh, that's so close, dude. Look at that. Look at that. Right. Long term, however, it's looks like that. If we can break 88.20 and back test it with some conviction, this could be a 1, 2, 3 reversal. Let's mark this up again. So we rallied, resistance sold off to support, right? Support's there. We rallied up, rally to a new high. We pull back. There's 1, 2, 3. Is this right? Is that the move? So this would be the 1, 2 would be here, right? 1, 2. Come on. So there's your 2 move, right? So that's your 1, 2, 3 up. Yeah, it's kind of tough to tell. So just keep an eye on this level here. So if it can break above 88.54 and use that as support, I think that we have a continuation move to the upside. Contrarian, we reject 89.50 and we just pull back and consolidate for another couple days. Okay. I'm not slipping on Wu-Tang Wednesday. Just give me a second. Stitch Fix, Facebook, GME, PLTR, run fastly. All right, lads. All right, so hold on, lads. I'm going to check out some of these other stocks real quick. Stitch Fix is off of the weekend watch list. Facebook is not. I'm bullish on Facebook, GameStop, and I already did Ulta, didn't I feel like I did Ulta already. This bottom chart's not working for some reason. All right, Stitch Fix. You guys know the move. I did this over the weekend watch list. Straight, nice, bullish divergence. Right? Price action is broken out of its downward trend, making higher highs and higher lows. So dude, I'm bullish on Stitch Fix. I've been this way since Sunday. Just reiterate what I'm looking at for everybody to see. Right? Algo is making higher highs and higher lows. Right? Broke out of its channel. It's dragging price action up with it. Price action has got uptrending support. It has broken its long-term, right, overhead resistance. It's taken out, and it's trying to take out previous lows if it can do that. And I'm kind of bullish on it up to, you know, maybe this level here or this level here. So what I really want to do is I want to play this channel, right? But nice rally above 35. I think we start taking out 36, 37. The algo's just pulling price action up with it. Super bullish on Stitch Fix. Facebook, while the algo is selling off, price action is rallying. It's filled a bunch of gaps, right? Like if we were in this a couple weeks ago, it's like gap up, pulled out, gap up, gap, right? I don't like this shape here, so I'm looking for Facebook to pull back to support, dark pull support. We've got regular block trade and dark pulls right at the current level at 340.22. Those are super close. We'll white land those suckers up right there. Right. Look at this massive shelf right here. Massive shelf, right? On the way down, we've got dark pull at 335.34 and 329.40. Those are your key levels. We get below that, then we start getting into some retail trades. The algo, I'm not super thrilled with how the algo hasn't made its move up, but it's consolidating, right? Right. It's pulling, it's kind of selling off. It's slowly making lower lows and lower, slowly making those lower lows. So this price action looks like Disney. I need a cleaner trend before I get into Facebook. GameStop's just doing GameStop stuff, right? Price action's making higher lows and higher highs. The algo is making higher lows and higher highs. We got a massive influx where a bunch of brokers decided to get together and interact with price action at this level here, which is where you get that vertical line. We've got regular and block trade support. 186.70 is your dark pull support. And 186.02 is your regular block trade support, right? Like I don't care what you think about GameStop. It's a great setup, right? Technically, it's a great setup, but the stock market's going to do what the stock market wants to do. Right? Rising wedge. A little bit of a wedge consolidation going on here. Right, just keep an eye on the algo. If the algo does continue to rally above price action, look for it to pull it up. All of the divergences have been played out, so it's just trading with price action. Ulta chart's not showing up there. This is the last one I got to run after this. Yeah, dude, what is up? How come I can't pull them? Yeah, for some reason I can't pull up an ultra. All right, okay. That's it. I gotta run, but before I do, I just want to introduce everyone to this. This is Wu-Tang Wednesday, and this is why I call it Wu-Tang Wednesday. Every Wednesday, Hulu comes out with a series that they've been doing called Wu-Tang: An American Saga. It basically loosely follows the rise of hip-hop group Wu-Tang Clan. It's super informative if you've ever just liked the Wu-Tang Clan music and always kind of wondered a little bit about a backstory. It's great. It's produced by RZA. Um, well, the music's by RZA, and they all have a little bit of an influence into it. It's a great show. Watch it. Get out there. Just join me for the next Wu-Tang Wednesday, son. All right, I gotta go. Have a great day. Thanks for joining me. I am out.